if you're just getting started flying electric RC modeled airplanes, there's a couple of things you should know about the batteries. And there's three numbers that apply to batteries. The first one is the number of cells, and if it's a park flyer, it's going to be 3 cells. That's the most common, and that's what this one has. And the number of cells determine the voltage, and the voltage is what determines the RPM of the motor. So it's probably the most important number to know. And for 3 cells, the voltage is going to be about 10 volts roughly. The second number is the capacity, and in this case it's 3000, and 3000 means this battery can deliver 3000 milliamp hours. Okay, and translating that, it means that if you put a load of 3 amps, it'll go on for an hour before it discharges, and discharge means down to 3 volts per cell. Okay, so translating that, because we don't fly for an hour, it's much more likely that we'll fly for 6 minutes. So if you multiply that by 10, it means that you can do a 30 amp discharge for 6 minutes on this battery pack, roughly, because you're actually going to get a little bit less at that current rate. But then the next question becomes, okay, that's the capacity, but what is the safe maximum discharge rate for this battery pack? And that's what the C rating is, and in this case it's 20C. And what that means is a multiple. So you take the 20C, you multiply by the 3 in the capacity, the 3 amp hours, you get 60 amps, which means that the highest safe discharge rate for this battery is 60 amps. Now you might think, okay, so I can discharge it at 60 amps and I'm going to get 3 minutes of flight time. Well, you're not going to get 3 minutes, because if you discharge it at that rate, there's going to be a lot of heat generated, and that's a loss in energy, loss in efficiency. So you might get 2.5, but you get the idea. And beyond that, if you treat your batteries well, they'll treat you well. Don't over discharge them. And this is a setting in the speed control normally says you want a low voltage cutoff or a high cutoff, and I will say do a medium. Just don't push your luck with that. Of course, always use a charger with a balancer, even though nowadays that's pretty much a given. And if you're not going to be using your battery for a while, I will do a 50% storage charge. And of course, if you have a charger with a discharge cycle, it's really handy for that. Other than that, batteries tend to come with connectors soldered on, because there's safety issues. You try and solder a connector, because the battery is always going to have power in it. So it's just really easy to short it out with the soldering iron or however you do it, and I've done it. So they tend to always come with connectors. The problem is that pretty much they all come with different connectors. This is a lot of them on the market. And a few years ago, I standardized on these are the so-called DINS Ultra plugs. And they're really great, but they've actually, with a lot of the manufacturers, they're coming out of favor. So the one that seems to be replacing it is this one, which is the XT60. And they're pretty comparable. So what I've had to do is that I've gotten these adapters, which go from XT60 and these new battery packs, and let me go to a DINS connector, because a lot of my speed controls, that's what I have soldered on. So, so just keep that in mind. With the smaller battery packs, I like to use I think these are called micro DINS, and they're really nice connectors, but a lot of the time the battery pack comes with something like this, which is a JST connector, and that's okay. I wouldn't cut them off, because especially soldering onto a battery is tricky, and again you can short them out. So just try and find yourself some sort of adapter, and you'll be fine. And till next time.